All the praise to Allah, the creator of all and the sustainer of all. And may the peace and blessings of Allah be on His prophets, from Adam to Muhammad alayhim salatu wassalam. I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with a complete sharia, complete way of life to guide our lives, to bring peace and success and prosperity for all. His mission was not restricted to changing people's belief from multiple gods to one, but his message and mission, this deen, is to organize every aspect of our lives. We talked about how the shaitan vowed from the day that Adam was created to bring chaos into our lives. And he has succeeded in our time. Everywhere you look, on your right or left, you see the chaos evident. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. Allah said in Surah Ar-Rum that chaos has become clear in the land and in the sea due to what the hands of humans have earned. And that should bring our attention to the efforts carried out by many groups and individuals in order to perpetuate the work of the shaitan and bring chaos in our world. Islam stands in opposition of this chaos. Islam is a deen designed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for humanity. He gave it to Adam and Noah, to Ibrahim and Musa and Isa, all the prophets. They were teaching Islam to their people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to live in an organized system that regulates our relationships, our rights and responsibilities, to create a human society that's unlike the animal kingdom, where there is order, there is love, there is brotherhood, there is justice, there is freedom. But in opposition to that, the forces of kufr and the forces of the shaitan are always endeavoring to create chaos in our lives, because they are uncomfortable with the system that Allah designed for humanity. We said they first attack the source of that system, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. Try to create doubt in the minds and hearts of humans about the existence of God, Allah, and the oneness of Allah. So first they introduced the idea of atheism to try to tell us there is no God, and therefore the whole system is not needed. You create the system that you want. And if you do not respond to that message of atheism, they try to come with the idea of multiple gods and multiple religions, and all options are equal. Pick and choose, but keep that religious life away from the rest of your life. Restricted to the masjid, to the church, to the synagogue. Restricted to 1 hour or 1 day a week. Then the rest, do what you want. There are no rules. to follow. When they cannot attack that core, they go after all the other systems that represent the comprehensive way of life, Islam, that Allah has chosen for us. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. Allah sent down over 23 years a complete, comprehensive system for life to govern every aspect of our lives. And when He completed it, He said, I have completed your religion, your way of life for you, and perfected my bounty on you, and accepted Islam as your way of life. For the most part, Muslims today do not live an Islamic way of life. We have some aspect of the beliefs in our hearts, in our worship, but over the last couple hundred years, European forces occupied different parts of the Muslim world, divided it, and they make a separation between our religious life and the rest of our lives, our economic, political, social lives. Brought and introduced alternative systems and ways of life. And now, the majority of Muslims, we live multiple systems at the same time. On Friday, on Jum'ah, we are in the masjids, we are Muslims. The rest of the week, we live by different ideas, depending on which part of our lives we're dealing with. And that's why we need to understand what has changed, what's different. What's different between us and the Sahaba that lived in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? They lived all their life as Islam. Their religious life, their political life, their social life, their economic life, everything was coherent, consistent. Today, we don't have that consistency. We have life of contradictions. What we choose to do in our economic life contradicts our religious life, contradicts our political life, contradicts our social life. Everything is a mess. We borrow from here and there, and we don't achieve success. That's why we try to understand and diagnose the problem. One of the most important after the religious life is the political system, the political life, which are not separable. In Islam, they are not separable. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the religious leader and the political leader. The khulafa after him, Abu Bakr or Umar or Uthman or Ali, they were also both religious and political leaders. Humanity knew this for millennia. But today we take, and there are so many Muslims who champion the idea of separation of religion and state. Not thinking and not understanding that they bought wholesale the idea of Allah has no authority in your life. You worship Him on Friday or when you read the Quran, but Allah does not have any other authority in your life. That's what it means. We champion democracy, we champion different national systems, and that's why we see this variety across the Muslim world. So we have to stop at this important system and see how it is distorted today. When the Prophet ﷺ came, he did not just accept, follow me, worship Allah, love Allah, and do whatever you want with your life. He demanded from Quraysh, he demanded from the people, all the tribes, that the rule is for Allah. Al-Hakimiyya lillah. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. Allah, in 3 separate ayat, categorized those who do not combine the system, political system, with the religious. They have committed kufr, dhulm, and fusq. 3 major charges. When Bani Israel, when they came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and wanted to judge by something else, he said, there is no choice. And Allah revealed, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَن يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. If Allah decreed something, it's not optional for a believing man or a believing woman to choose something else. So the last 200 years, we saw the invasion of European forces who were at war with the church in Europe. After defeating the church in Europe, they went out to destroy other religious systems that existed. And the biggest power was in their face, the Ottoman Empire, that a single sultan out of Istanbul was ruling from Algeria to India. And the Muslims were one ummah, one nation. Within that, there were Jews and there were Christians. Their rights are protected and respected. But the result, they divided that territory into so many nations, so many countries, regardless of their language, their history, their shared religion. They divided them. The Arabs who speak the same language and have the same religion became 22 countries. In 1916, over 100 years ago, Sykes-Picot, the foreign minister of France and the foreign secretary of England, they drew a map on paper and went out to implement it, and it is still so today. And Muslims have separate nations, separate government systems, separate flags, everything. And you cannot cross from one to the other without a passport, without a visa, without a permission. They divided the entire Muslim world like that.